Hey folks, this is Kalani. This is going to be a very quick and dirty guide for hunters transitioning into 6.0. We'll look at the specializations and how they changed, and then we'll look at what abilities we lost overall. So first things first, let's look at Beast Mastery, because Beast Mastery didn't really change. You don't have Serpent Sting, so you don't need to worry about it. You don't have Rapid Fire, so you don't need to worry about it. And Stampede has been moved to a talent on the same row as Blink Strikes. So that's going to be a numbers game, depending on which one of those comes out on top. I imagine Stampede for burst situations and Blink Strikes for sustained situations, which is kind of boring, but that's basically all that's changed in Beast Mastery. For survival, things look kind of similar, because you don't have Rapid Fire, and you probably won't take Stampede as a talent because it's on the same row as Murder of Crows, which has been changed to have half the focus cost, half the damage, and half the cooldown. So over 2 minutes, you're going to use it twice as often for the same focus cost and the same damage. Which doesn't really sound like a change at all, but I guess we'll see on how it pans out. It's nice to push a button more often, I guess. Barrage has had similar treatment, although it's not really anything to do with survival, but it's now a larger cooldown in that it costs 60 focus, does a hell of a lot more damage, but its cooldown was actually reduced down to 20 seconds, so it's more of a bigger ability rather than a bigger cooldown, but that's going to be insane on AoE fights. I'm really enjoying that, it's fantastic. But getting back to survival, your focus cost for Explosive Shot is down to 15 instead of 25, which is kind of cool. Whenever Black Arrow is dispelled, its cooldown is reset, making it a lot more viable for PvP. And if you want to apply Serpent Sting, which I'm going to assume you do as a survival hunter, you use Arcane Shot. It's baked into Arcane Shot, so you don't actually have to press Serpent Sting at all, you just have to Arcane Shot once every 15 seconds, which is going to happen anyway, because it's your focus dump. So Serpent Sting is now free damage. Hooray! That's kind of all the changes for survival, except you have a new passive, which increases your multi-strike damage by 20%. Multi-strike is a new stat, which increases the chance of you multi-striking. You have 2 chances to deal 30% additional damage on top of what you already did. So if you hit for 100, you have 2 chances to hit for an extra 30. This passive is the only thing in the game which could increase that multi-strike damage. The only thing in the game, which is kind of interesting, and survival hunters are probably going to love multi-strike. But again, numbers. Depending on how the numbers shape up, multi-strike might not be that valuable and survival might not be that good of a DPS spec. Oh, and survival no longer has access to kill shot, so that kind of just makes things worse. Which is disappointing, but either way, they're the changes for survival. Marksmanship is kind of interesting, because all of your passives were pretty much gutted, except for careful aim, so things like piercing shot and rapid recuperation, they're gone. You actually don't have Arcane Shot for focus dump, so to focus dump you have to aim shot, which can be used while moving now, and doesn't interrupt auto shots, which is, it's nice, but you don't have Arcane Shot, and you don't get free instant aim shots. So all of them are going to be hard cast, which is going to be interesting to say the least, but the most important thing about Marksman is that you have a new mastery called Sniper Training. When you stand still for 3 seconds, you gain a 6-second duration buff, which increases your damage, your range, and your critical damage. So not your critical strike chance, but your critical strike damage, by a certain amount dependent on how much mastery you have. Stack more mastery, and these values go up significantly. The issue with that, obviously, is that if you move, it's a 6-second duration buff, so at any time if you have to move for longer than 3 seconds, because it takes 3 seconds of standing still to get the buff back, you're going to lose that damage from your mastery, and if you stack mastery, you're going to lose a lot of damage. So if you ever have to move for prolonged periods of time, as Marksman, your damage is going to plummet, which isn't really fun. You don't really want to see your name kind of shoot straight to the bottom on a DPS meter, but that's how Marksman is working. So Steady Shot, Steady Shot, Steady Shot, Chimera Shot, which now hits 2 targets, no longer heals you, but you can glyph it to heal for a little bit. Aimed Shot, Steady Shot, Steady Shot, Aimed Shot, Chimera Shot. That's kind of all Marksman is right now. So that's how they've changed, and basically how you'll be playing after 6.0 if you choose to stay with Hunter. Quite a few things were removed from our toolkit, so let's have a quick look at those. Aspect of the Hawk is gone, so you no longer have to worry about that. Scatter Shot is gone, which is kind of annoying. Snake's Trap is gone, which doesn't really make all that much of a difference, I'll be honest. Didn't really have a great deal of uses. Hunter's Mark is gone, which again was completely passive at this point, so doesn't really make that much difference. And a lot of passives have been rolled and baked into each other, so you don't actually lose them, but your spellbook is a lot less cluttered. So that's the very quick and dirty guide for how to play a hunter after 6.0 hits. Remember to leave a like just below the video before you leave, and if you want to see more, feel free to subscribe. But apart from that, thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always, I will see you next time.